Like Chunkz went through it as well. He told me when he was younger, when he said he wanted to be a YouTuber, everyone looked at him like, why do you want to be a YouTuber? Like, well, there's nothing in that. And then now look at him, he's like one of the biggest people in the UK. So it's like that's how it was for me. Like when I started proper being around Chunkz, like the last 2-3 years, and like he would like be on Snap and then he would just flip the camera to me, I'd feel myself just suddenly change. But then now if I'm in this, if it happens again, like when I'm in Sharky's sports videos, it's like I'm still the same person. I don't change whatsoever. So now I'm way more comfortable.
Changing gears, obviously you are in the YouTube world, you're around YouTubers like, chunkz, FOOTY, Sharky as well.
Yeah.
Why have you never wanted to kind of get into that YouTube space as well?
Before, I never used to feel comfortable in front of camera. I used to hate when the camera's turned on. So I feel like I used to like shy away on camera a lot. Now I'm obviously much more used to it. Like there's always cameras around me. There's always cameras near me, things like that. I'm in people's videos here and there. But I just feel like the YouTube scene isn't for me. Like being on YouTube and things like that. Like I see, I feel like I don't have the ideas to be a YouTuber. Do you know what I mean? That's pretty much it. It's nothing. I wouldn't say it's nothing too in depth. I just feel like I don't have the ideas. Like when I'm around people like Nico, I see him stressing for like 2 months over a video idea because his videos are like so big. And then you got someone like AJ as well, whose videos are so big, they struggle to get videos out because they want everything to be exactly how it goes. But then you got someone like Chunkz and Sharky where they can sit like this in front of a camera, film a video that cost them £5, and then they put it up on YouTube and it's got 1 million views. So it's like, there's two sides to it, innit? So it's like, if I knew a way where I could do a bit of both, maybe, but I don't think I could. I feel like it's too hard to get into right now.
Obviously, I believe there's a lane for everyone, obviously it's saturated and everything like that. But I feel like it's the same for, any walk of life. You could use the same analogy for being a footballer. Obviously, it's so hard to be a professional. Only like X amount of percent, less than 1% become a footballer. Or you could use other analogies, right? But I feel like if you have the tools and you feel like you can do it, I would always advise you to start and do it because
100%. I feel like I'm more and more tempted every day to try it, just to see how it goes. But maybe it'll happen sometime soon. I don't know, maybe, but we'll see.
But what like we're speaking about this, like you're passionate to a certain degree about football and your club. So even that being your lane, obviously you would argue that there's already people doing that, but there's people not even on Arsenal Fan TV who are making money speaking about Arsenal and so forth. So, there's lanes for all of that type of stuff. Obviously, being around the camera and being in front of the camera. Oh, just quick question actually. Why is it that you didn't feel comfortable being on camera? Like, what is the main reason?
The way I grew up. Like when you're younger, remember like in school, if anyone said, I do YouTube, it's like, why are you doing YouTube for? That's like moist. But then now it's like, if I speak to my 2 little sisters or my brother, they say everyone wants to be a YouTuber. And it's like, now how things have changed is crazy. Because like when I was younger, if you spoke to anyone about like KSI or something like that, they'll look at you and be like, why are you watching people on YouTube? Say like Chunkz went through it as well. He told me when he was younger, when he said he wanted to be a YouTuber, everyone looked at him like, why do you want to be a YouTuber? Like, well, there's nothing in that. And then now look at him, he's like one of the biggest people in the UK. So it's like, that's how it was for me. Like when I started proper being around Chunkz, like the last 2-3 years, and like he would like be on Snap and then he would just flip the camera to me, I'd feel myself just suddenly change. But then now if I'm in this, if it happens again, like when I'm in Sharky's sports videos, it's like I'm still the same person. I don't change whatsoever. So now I'm way more comfortable.
No, I agree, man. Back then, even people like bloggers, it used to be a blogging thing back then. Like people used to write like on blogs about certain situations or whatever it may be, like storytelling or story writing.
They looked at different.
Yeah, they'll get looked at a bit different. So I hear you on that. Obviously, also it's about, you don't want to portray yourself to the people where you know inside that is not you. You know, that is not the real you. So you want to be yourself as well. That's another thing I always found. But since starting this, and pretty much imagine, you know, everyone got that. So say, for example, Chunkz, he probably got said that about, you know, many years ago when he started YouTube. I'm getting it now, being a footballer. Because in football, that is like foreign. That's a no. Yeah, that's a no. Like, why are you doing that? You know what I mean? So, you know, I still have the same stigmas sometimes where I don't want to come on the camera like, oh, hey guys, you know, type of thing. I do it in a way that it's myself, innit? So that's the advice I can give to you starting something, because I know exactly how you feel. Going back to my initial question is, obviously you're around the camera and stuff. What side of footballers do you see probably what other people watching this don't get to see?
I see the funny side. I see the funny side of football. It's like, if I'm ever in the room and someone's on FaceTime to a footballer, I see a completely different side to them to obviously on camera. On camera, it's like, yeah, at the end of the day, we deserve the result, blah, blah. But then they'll FaceTime and be like, yeah, today we brushed your team, we did this, we did that. You'll never hear that, but I find that stuff funny. For me, it's hilarious, like, to look at football, because when you're growing up, even now, you look at footballers like they're robots. Like, I don't sometimes I look at certain footballers and I'm like, I couldn't tell you what they're like, but their personality's like. You would never ever know. You'd never ever know what someone's like. But then when you hear them over the phone or whenever you speak to them and things like that, they're just normal people at the end of the day. And they're very funny people. Very, very funny people. But so yeah, I always see different sides of footballers all the time. Same with like my friends as well here. When they're out on the street and they're speaking to fans and that, I see a different side to them than when we're at home, or when when we see someone else. Like, if we're walking and we see a fan, and then the next person we see is a friend of ours, it's two different conversations. So I feel like that's how it is with all people in the spotlight. So it's like, I get it.
Yeah, I think it's like a guard that everyone puts up. If you are in the spotlight, like, I don't want to give too much of myself away, because you can take that away and you can use that against me, type of thing, you know. I think that's kind of what it is. So you know, there's two sides to that coin. Obviously you see the side, who would you say is like the most you know, out of everyone you met, is the most memorable and probably the most inspirational in that kind of way to you?
Well, footballers or just people in general?
Just people in general. You probably
I would say
someone in the scene.
In the scene, I would say, honestly, the two most inspirational people I know at the moment are probably Chunkz and Sharky. Like, with Chunkz, just seeing how hard he works. Like, after the soccer aid thing, because I work so closely with him, I help him with his day-to-day stuff and things like that. I help him with his normal, regular life, innit? I saw how hectic his life got after soccer aid. He missed the penalty. For him, missing the penalty was better than him scoring the penalty.
Yeah, in terms of promotion.
Like exposure, promotion, things like that. Philly as well. Philly's very inspirational. But for me, it's definitely Sharky and Chunkz. Sharky, with how hard he works. Sharky's one of the most hardworking people I know. Like, the last 2 months, he's been uploading every week. He's been filming every few days. And like, him and his cameraman Hasib, they work together. And I feel like Sharky and Chunkz are like the two most inspirational people. When I look at them, I'm like, yeah, if I was to ever go down this path, I'd want to go down the path the way they're going it, because they're very, very hardworking. They're still very humble as well. Like, they know where they come from. They're very close with their faith as well. Like little things like that. When I just speak to them and they talk to me about little things, I'm like, yeah, I feel like they're like the model I look at, and I'm like, that's how they're doing it. They're doing it very well at the moment.
I had a thought just now. Being a YouTuber, obviously every kid wants to be a YouTuber now. It's probably, if not above football. I feel like it's definitely above football. Definitely. I think it's definitely above football 100%. Now. Yeah.
Like, when I speak to my siblings and they tell me, no one really cares too tough about like those things anymore. They care about being in front of this camera and things like that. I'm like, yeah, I understand.
Sad me being a footballer, because I want the sport to grow. But obviously, like, it's actually good, you know, seeing you know, how people can you know, have a different stream of income, not just everyone from the ends, oh, I want to be a footballer type of thing. There's hundreds of things that you could do now as a kid, and you know, actually have
the
a
thing I
very
like
good
about it the
life.
most, the thing I like about it the most is the black kids.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
us as a culture, when we're younger, it's you either an athlete or nothing else pretty much. And when I was younger, it was like everyone, all my friends who were black, me included as well, everyone was playing sports. Now, when I see my little brother telling me, like, he brings his friends home and they're asking me questions about chunkz and things like that. And they're like, yeah, I want to be a YouTuber and that. I'm like, yeah, that's good. I like that you guys are branching out. I feel like it's
100%,
very good for the
man.
culture, yeah.
No, 100%. Yeah. You know, just speaking on what we were speaking on, you were saying you know, the interactions you get being a YouTuber on the street. I think it's actually better in terms of humanity for young kids wanting to be YouTubers, because just for the simple fact is you can actually be yourself, you know. You can grow up to be who you want to be. It's not like you have to be in a certain mold or a certain like figure, like you know, the public expects something of you. Obviously, you come out and you say something wild, then everyone's gonna react to that and you know, say, you know, condemn you for that. But at the end of the day, I feel like it is better in terms of for the kids growing up, they can be who they want to be, and you know, interaction with the people, I think it's a bit more easier. How do you feel about that?
I feel like it is good because I feel like there's too much pressure on trying to become an athlete. I feel like there's way too much pressure. Even me, when I was younger, I wanted to become a footballer, obviously like everyone else. Then when I played with people who were playing at academies from a young age, and you see like there was like a massive gap between like me and you, or like me and Raheem, even like me and Junior, even though Junior wasn't at the same level as you guys, he was still at a very good level. You could see the massive gap. So I feel like there's a lot of pressure, and I feel like a lot of people can't handle that kind of pressure. So like, for example, me, I could have just become sad and depressed after I played with one of you guys.
Exactly.
And then just been like, yeah, forget football forever. And then gone down, not bad route, but just said, forget football forever. But then there's other people on the flip side that are like, yeah, now I need to work harder. Now I need to do this. Now I need to do that. So I feel like there is a lot of pressure becoming a footballer compared to being a YouTuber. YouTube, you just sit in front of the camera. If it does well, it does well. If it doesn't do well, it doesn't do well. There's no like end all be all. But for football, like there's an end all be all. It's like at 18, if I'm not playing for academy, which I feel like I feel like that age is still too high, because if you play against someone who's been at academy from 6 to 18, and then you've been at academy from 14 to 18, there's still a massive difference. They've been playing proper football for 12 years compared to you playing proper football for 3-4 years, isn't it? So it's like, I feel like there's a lot of pressure on becoming a footballer, like a lot. Like if my little brother came to me and was like, hey, I want to be a footballer, and he's now turning 13, I would tell him, I don't know. I'd be like, if you really want to work hard for it, I can help you. But I'll tell him from then, it's very difficult. Like I'll tell him the facts. I'm like, it's very hard to become a footballer, especially at the age where you start playing football at 13. I'd be like, yeah, it's very difficult.
Agreed. And I think I did a video on my channel about something like this, so check that out. Moving on, top 4. Who's your top 4 prediction for the season?
So my top 4 prediction, I feel like Liverpool's going to win the league. I feel like in January they'll sign another centre back. I don't think they'll sign like a massive, like a £75 million centre back, but they'll sign a centre back where it's Van Dijk could play with him or Joe Gomez. So it'll be Liverpool first. I feel like sneakily Tottenham will finish second. I feel like they're just having a bit of a rough patch, but I feel like Mourinho will get the best out of them again, especially if Kane and Son stay fit. I feel like United will finish third. I feel like City is going to struggle again. I feel like they're going to keep struggling. They're going to finish 4th. And I feel like, who am I missing out of the top 4? Chelsea won't be top 4, definitely. I don't think Chelsea will be top 4. I feel like they'll get rid of Frank at the end of the season. Arsenal, we're going to finish like 10th or 9th.
I think
but if I was to put... You think we're going to finish high?
Yeah, just based on... There's hope in this current form, you know?
Yeah.
That's what and the league is tight. If you actually look at the points...
Yeah, I was looking at from 10th to 1st, I think there's 7 points or 6 points. I think it's 7 points. 33 points and 26 points. West Ham are 10th and Man United are first. There's only 7 points. So if Man United lose and draw and West Ham win their 2 games, it's only a point difference.
Exactly.
1 or 2 points difference. So it's like, I feel like it's very hard, but I feel like Villa are going to get top 6. I hope they get top 6.
No, they got
I feel
a
like
good
Villa
team.
very good.
Very good team, underrated. I think if they had a slightly better defense, they would probably be like solid top 6. But their attacking force is actually quite good, man. Goes under the radar.
I got a question for you. I saw on Twitter yesterday, if you could take one player out of any Premier League team and put them in another team, but it makes a massive difference. So the example was, if you put Salah in Brighton, Brighton will be a top 6 team. What player would you take out of another team and put in another team?
So obviously we're strictly talking about the lower end teams, right?
It could be it could be any team, but people were aiming for lower. So like one of my friends said, if Van Dijk was at Aston Villa, they would be in contention for the league because they would have a solid.
There's different ones. You could put Van Dijk in pretty much a lot of teams and it would make a big difference. I'm gonna say 2. One being Sheffield United. If Sheffield United had a striker, in all honesty, like a top class striker, like someone who
pick a striker in the league.
Sorry.
Pick a striker in the league that will play for.
If Sheffield United had Harry Kane, like imagine if they had Harry Kane, for example, they would be like, especially this year, they'd be in the top 6. You know. They're not losing games by like say for example West Brom. They've got
they're just not scoring.
Yeah, they're not scoring, and they've had a few heavy defeats recently. One against Leeds, one against Arsenal the other day.
Oh no, I meant Sheffield. Sheffield are just not scoring. So I feel like they had a striker.
So exactly. I think based on what they did last season, I think that is one. And then another team, I would say, if they had like a top class, I think if Wolves had someone in midfield, they have a good midfield, but they don't have like a De Bruyne, they don't have a Bruno Fernandes. Like just say Bruno Fernandes, say for example at Wolves, he's Portuguese as well, so he fit in. If you had him, because they have a decent defense as well, if you put him in and take him out of Man United, is there much different? You got Neto there, you got Jimenez when he's fit. Traore, it's a good team. No,
Pedro Neto's a baller as well. I find it mad that Jota wasn't even like a fully fledged starter for Wolves, and he's gone to Liverpool and he's killing for Liverpool. But I feel like if West Ham had a Harry Kane, they'd be up there. Or if another good one is Southampton, if they had Kevin De Bruyne, because the way Southampton play, I feel like it would suit De Bruyne so much. They play like fast, fluid football, innit? So I feel like it would suit them a lot.
Yeah, and they got runners. Like you need someone threading the balls, and if they had like Ward-Prowse there with De Bruyne, that would be a good look as well. That's a good question, man. How long until Arsenal challenge for a title? How long is that?
When Arsene Wenger left, I said 10 years because I thought the transition period was gonna be crazy. Because like what Arsene Wenger built, and how many years has it been since he's left? About
2, 3.
About 3. It's been 3 years, isn't it?
2021 is 3. So yeah.
Yeah. So I'd say 3 years. I feel like we still got like another 5-6 years to where we're proper challenging for a title. Because I feel like it starts from the top, innit? The owners, they don't care about Arsenal. That's their cash cow. They don't care where we finish. They know every game day they're going to make 3-4 million just from tickets. They know every season they're going to make X amount from kit sales because of how big Arsenal is. You go to Asia, you go to America, you go to different countries in the world. Someone supports Arsenal and they're buying a kit from Arsenal. They're buying something to do with Arsenal. So for them, it's like, this is our cash cow. I know they're gutted that we're not making Champions League anymore like how Wenger was doing. But for them, it's still like, we finish a decent spot. We get decent European football. We'll make some peas for us. And then that money we'll put into our American teams like Denver Nuggets, LA Rams. I think he's got a hockey team as well that's doing pretty good. He's got like a Canadian football team, I think. Like all these little things.
Walmart, I think.
Yeah, he's got all these little.
Wife got Walmart apparently or something like that.
Yeah. Look, see, that's just too much money to have, and he's like, I'm not putting no peas into Arsenal. Even though we bought Pepe for 70 mil, that was like a loan 70 mil. Like we took 40 from the bank, did this from blah blah blah. You know what I mean? So it's like there's so many little things from the board where it's messing up the whole team. And then we got a lot of deadwood as well, like the politics with Ozil as well. He's making like 300 grand a week, and him not playing for us, that's like a big loss because we need a player like him. But obviously, I get the politics, the business side of it, to do with Asia and everything. Fair enough, but like things like that, even Willian getting his big check, like little things like that is what holds Arsenal back. You would never see a Man United go and take Man City's 10-year player who's like 32 and then say, here's a 250 grand a week contract. You're barely going to play for us, or when you play for us, you're going to put in a 5 out of 10 just because he doesn't want to move out of the city. Pardon?
So Man United would take your best player like Robin van Persie or Sanchez.
They'll take the best player. Man City would never do that. Chelsea would never do that. Liverpool would take Everton's best player if they could. Do you know what I mean? So Arsenal, I feel like recently it's become like that retirement home where it's like, yeah, I want to live in London for a bit, or I already live in London. It's the London life. I already live in London. I've got businesses in London. I need to be around there. Let me go to Arsenal and pitch myself. And then I know they're dumb enough to take me and give me a good contract. So it's like, that's what needs to go with Arsenal.
Yeah, 100%, man.
For more content like this, like, share, and subscribe.